What is up? Hello, people. There are four of you here live. That is way more than I expected. Welcome to Monk and Lou's Happy Hour. Monk and I are still working out the schedule. Until then, it's your boy Lou coming at you on a Friday, 5:30. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend. Be safe, by the way. Fun holiday weekend coming up. We are here to talk about UFC Vegas 76, Strickland versus Abus Magomedov. I have a couple of same game parlays that I don't have tracked because I can't. We're going to talk about them. They're all main card, and we'll rip through this card real quick. I see Everett Byrne in the chat. Why is this shit so late now? Sorry, dummy. Like, this show's literally always been at 5:30, so I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't know if you're confusing this with some other show, but I see my guy Sean V in the chat. I see GCQ in this economy. Oh, we will get to a couple of bets in this economy. And we got my buddy Pink Freud. Guys, thank you for spending your time. I am not going to take too long tonight. This card definitely does not worthy of any of this crap, but we will start with Romanov and Ivanov. I don't have a bet on this other than my obligatory yam bags and the draw here. Romanov looked like absolute hell on the scales. He weighed 264. He looks like he ate Zhalgas Zumagulov and Patty Pimblett at the same time. I can't trust his cardio, but I can't trust Ivanov either here. Like, he's just not a dude, like, he's not a finisher. He's not known to even, like, be an active striker. So I'm not betting this fight other than ball shots and shit. Like, if you guys are going to bet, and like everybody that's saying bet Ivanov live, like, you're not going to get a good price, man. They're onto this with these guys. So, yeah, no bet here for me, but I should pull up my track bets here too as we move on. Okay, so no bets here for me. If you bet this fight, like, God bless your fucking soul. Ivana Petrovic, Luana Carolina. I took the stab. I did bet Carolina here. Not big. I threw 0.5 units on her at plus 185. It's a price play. I'm not impressed with Petrovic. I think she struggles against, like, really crappy competition, but Carolina's not great. And there's this narrative that Carolina's takedown defense is so good because of the Loopy fight, but Loopy was coming up a weight class. She fought the week before. I don't think Carolina's takedown defense is as good as the narrative here. She kind of struggled against Joanne Wood on the feet, but I think this is a pretty boring, even fight. Give me the dog. Plus 185. Small, super small play here for me. I'm not excited about this, but what are you going to do? Guram Kutulasi against Elvis Brenner. This is one of the first of the same game parlays I want to talk about. Yeah, I think Guram wins. Brenner's never been finished. If you guys have been watching the show, you know I don't really like taking finished props against guys that never been finished. And Brenner seems to, at least, he's young enough. He's been training with the right people. It's been tough to get Guram a fight. So I think Guram decision is a fine bet here. But if you just want to be safe, I think Guram and over 5.5 minutes in the same game, it's minus 190. It's a really good way to cut down the juice here. I don't know what more you're going to say about this. And Guram looks like Tommaso Ciampa, who is in the WWE, which is all right by me. He's a good dude. But, like, I don't have much to say about this fight either because it's a minus 600 favorite. But I won money on Brenner against Tuhugov. Like, did he win that fight? No, but I hit him live, and, you know, I ran fast as soon as that ticket cashed. So, yeah, I think Kutulasi wins probably pretty easily. Keeps it on the feet. Brenner will shoot takedowns, but Kutulasi wins. But you can't bet minus 600 for me in this economy. You cannot bet a minus 600 here. So if you want to parlay it with, like, over 5.5 minutes in the same game, minus 190 is incredibly reasonable. Then we will move on. So the next fight is Yana Santos against Carol Hosa. So the next fight is Joanderson Brito against Weston Wilson. I mean, I don't know how you want to squeeze some value here. You know, I see people playing the Brito sub. I don't have a problem with that, like the round 1 sub. I think the only way to squeeze value here is like a round 2 prop, but, like, I don't know, man. Burrito's a pretty fast starter. I think the round one prop's probably all right. I have the under parlayed in a couple of my tracked bets. I mean, I don't feel great about it, but this shouldn't even be. This is a Bellator fight. Like, this is literally like every Aaron Pico fight they ever scheduled, except Burrito's way more of a fucking savage. So just want to say hi to some of you guys. We got Paul in the chat, the Parlay King. We got my guy, White House Draw. Pink Floyd's laughing. And we got Justin Viegas. You never work in this town. You're never going to make it in this town. That's the actual phrase. Justin, people keep stealing my phrases. I got to keep coming up with some new shit, dude. So we're 5 fights in. This card it's really hard to bet on. But what's up, Dixon? My guy, Dixon Sider here. I don't know if you guys know Dixon's not his real name. I'm just guessing. How can you're supporting me, Beth, dude? You're in the chat. You guys are hanging out on a Friday. You guys are already, most of you guys already know what you're betting on. You're just here for the laughs. I don't have my partner Monk here. We're going to configure the schedule, figure it out. You guys are supporting. I just appreciate it, man. I do this for fun, man. I don't get paid. I'm just happy to talk to you guys. Let's get to, and then I got some really good same game parlays coming up. So if you guys like that, like I configured 3 on the main card that I fucking love, that are like super good odds. But we're going to get there as we get to the main card. All right, hold on. What's next here? Kevin Lee against Renat Fakhretdinov. I see some people on the Lee side here. I don't understand it. Lee hasn't looked good in years, and he's never looked good at 170. I don't think Renat's great, but Renat's just one of these guys where you know the game plan. It's going to be pressure, pressure, pressure. He's the naturally bigger guy. I think he's the harder hitter. He's definitely better at getting takedowns. I do worry about Lee reversing him on the ground. So this is one of my first 3 round same game parlays I have. I like the Renat side. I don't want to play a finish prop here because I just don't know if he's going to go for it in the 3rd round. He may be happy with top control. So there's going to be a common theme among these same game parlays. Renat to get 1 takedown in the 1st round, and he's going to be trying for them. And him to win is minus 115 on DraftKings. I think that's a pretty safe way to play this. If you want to do Renat to get a takedown in the over, I think that's okay too. If you like the Lee side, you know, there's another fight we're going to talk about in the co-main event where whether or not Renat gets a takedown, he's not going to go 0 for 0. He's going to be going for takedowns in the 1st round. I think he will land one as the bigger guy, as the better offensive grappler. So Renat as a parlay piece is fine with me. I've never liked Kevin Lee. I've never been high on Kevin Lee. He's coming off a long layoff. He's coming off just multiple injuries. His attitude is still shitty. Got a second chance in the UFC and he's complaining about the Apex. And I'm not saying doesn't have merit in his point that why are we still in the Apex like the COVID era is done. But bro, you got cut and you beat Diego Sanchez and he hurt himself early in that fight. But like, dude, you struggled with Diego Sanchez and now you're getting a second chance. Like, have a better attitude, man. I feel like he hasn't learned shit. And having a good attitude, being a scrapper is like a big thing. Like, I mean, you look at the guys that like we love to bet, like Jonathan Pierce, Elkins, you know, not as much right now, but I mean, traditionally, the guys that like fight for your money, and Lee just isn't a guy who fights for your money. So there's a couple of guys I respect the community on Lee right now, but I just can't hear. And I think this is a bad matchup, and I don't trust his cardio. So I like Fakhretdinov. I like him pretty big here. He's a great parlay piece. And we will get to the next fight, which is not going to work here anymore. Ruzabayev against Bruno Ferreira. I parlayed the under 1.5 like an asshole. I parlayed the under 2.5 as a super juice boy here. I don't have any other bets. I don't have a bet on Ferreira. I don't think I played him. I played the fight not to start round 3. If you want to find some value here, here's an interesting point. I think that with the height differential, because Ruzabayev is like way bigger. By the way, I love that it says he's from Philadelphia, PA. We don't claim him. He's 6 inches taller. He's a big dude. He's just not that talented. And Ferreira on his regional tape has decent grappling, has some takedowns. He does shoot from a little far away. I don't love that. But I wonder if Ferreira struggles early to like find range because he's so much smaller, that if he goes to takedowns and gets a ground and pound. What's up, my dude, Propaholic? My guy, Brandon. Check his shit out, guys. He's doing work. He's grinding. Fuck the raisin ball hook, the Ferreira. Fuck him with the Nikolai. I love that Jared loves that I do the Iron Sheik. I see a path where Ferreira could get takedowns. I'm not like, he does have a couple of subs. I'm really not itching to get to his sub prop here. But it's kind of an interesting prop if you wanted to take a shot on it. His sub is plus 550. For that to hit, you would need him to not be able to find range and try to get this on the ground. And I kind of worry that if that's the case, this fight may go longer than you think. Yeah, he says fights to end by sub plus 275. Jared is covering Razbaev's like condition. I don't hate that either. The only reason I wouldn't bet that is, whereas I don't trust Ferreira's cardio, we've just never seen him finish. And I sort of feel like this is the setup fight for him. And they're giving him a guy that his tape stinks, man. This record is like, it's like the dude that fought Emmers a couple of months ago. Like, he's really padded, but I think Ferreira wins. I think he wins probably by ground and pound, if I had to guess. But I just hit the unders with I hit this in Brito like a, total asshole juice boy. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So Benoit Saint Denis and Bonfim. So I have a bet, and I have immediately I have buyer's remorse here. So I had bet Saint Denis plus 3.5 rounds at plus 120 because I liked the number. I'm like, man, plus 120 in a fight where the over's juice. It's 1.5, but even the over 2.5 is a good price. And the more I looked into this, I don't know that I trust Bonfim completely. But this whole Saint Denis has legendary toughness is a very overblown narrative. In his record, it should say he was knocked out in the second round by Zaleski dos Santos. We know why, because we got literally the most crooked ref. Even the Iron Sheik would have said fuck the Nikolai. The most crooked ref ever came in and said, no, I'm betting the over and but Saint Denis can win minutes. He can go for takedowns. My concern is that if Bonfim's piecing him up at distance, which I think he will, that at some point, and I said this in the prop show, at some point Denis starts shooting really desperate bad takedowns from too far out. Bonfim just crushes him with a knee up the gut. The Bonfim round 2, round 3 KO on DraftKings or on FanDuel's plus 550. I actually have made a very small play on that to negate my Saint Denis bet. But I do think if this goes the distance, Saint Denis won a round. I do think that means he implemented takedowns. I don't think he can survive 15 minutes on the feet at range against Bonfim. I think his striking defense is shit. He's going to get pieced up. Bonfim's so much better in the striking. But I think that Saint Denis is better than McKinney. He's more defensively responsible. He's not as much of I need to knock a dude out. So you missed one, which I'll talk about before I move on to the next fight. I have 3 that I really love on this card. So I like Bonfim round 2, round 3. I do have the plus 3.5 bet on Saint Denis. I have a small dog play on him too. I think I took 3 dog shots on this card. I took Luana Carolina, I took Saint Denis, and I took Max Griffin. Very small bets. I figure if one of them wins, I'm fine. If 2 of them wins, I'm profitable. I feel like one of the 3 of them is probably going to come through. Not a shitload of confidence, but I think this one, the only thing that worries me here is that VB MMA, who's a friend of mine, who I don't know if you guys follow VB MMA. If you don't, you should. Guy's real fun, real smart. I can tell you right now, I know he dropped a fucking bomb. He dropped a bag on Bonfim. He loves him so much here that makes me a little nervous because I respect him enough where I'm what the fuck, dude? I'd like Saint Denis to at least win a round, but I think Bonifim round 2, round 3 is probably all right. And Mutality, just so you know, like the first of my 3 that I love is Renat, 1+ round 1 takedown. He's going to be going for takedowns. And Renat to win is -115. I think that's a good way to cut down that money line. It's a correlated bet, so you're not getting good odds. But I mean, here we go. Like Pink, same game, Bonfim. Yeah, I mean, and not only do I think there's not an early finish, but I think there's a filling out process because Saint-Denis knows he can't, like, he's not just gonna, like, just because his striking defense is bad, he's not like running into trouble. He's just not a good striker. What I worry about with Saint-Denis is he's gonna be like, not in the first like round, but he's gonna be shooting bad takedowns once he starts getting hit to the body, and Bonfim works the body really well. So like that's what I worry about as the fight goes on. But I think the over 1.5 is pretty solid. I think Bonfim over 1.5 is pretty solid play, to be completely honest. So let's move on. This is my favorite same game parlay of the card. Ariane Lipski against Melissa Gatto. So I love the fucking Gatto side so bad. I think this line is bonkers. I think Gatto could look -1,000 here. Lipski coming off the Aldrich fight. And by the way, if you had bet Aldrich there, I mean, Wheezy came to your house with the orderlies. You can never bet Aldrich that number. Lipski looked really good. But Aldrich is shooting takedowns from like 7 feet away. I know she got 2 takedowns against Blanchfield, and I think people just assumed, oh, well, she'll be able to implement that against Lipski. But her entries are so shitty. And Gatto, like, her striking's really good. I think it's like completely underrated, but Gatto like will get in close and then get her against the cage and get a takedown. And if Gatto gets 1 takedown on this fight, the fight's fucking over. So I've bet Gatto in the distance from a same game parlay. These odds are insane, dude. You guys want to configure this however you want. It's fine. There's a lot of ways you can redo this. Gatto to get a takedown in the first round and over 1.5 minutes is +130. Gatto is going to be going for takedowns in this fight. It is her path of least resistance. I thought Gatto looked good against Cortez in a where Cortez is like a super good grappler, like a high level grappler that people underestimate. I thought Gatto looked really good. Very close fight. The 2 fights with Lipski that and like, don't tell me this. She's training with Nunez. Nunez just fucking retired. Nunez doesn't give a shit. She ain't in the gym training people. I'll tell you that right now. The 2 fights with Lipski that I can't get past is the Antonia Shevchenko fight. Shevchenko has 3 takedowns in the UFC. 2 are against Brady's homegirl, Ji Young Kim, Firefist, and 1's against Lipski. And Lipski could not get up, and Shevchenko top timed her so badly. If Gatto gets her down, Lipski is not getting up. The other one that makes me nervous here, not nervous, the other one that I can't get out of my head is Lipski against Cachoeira. And I hit a prop there. I had a round 1 KO with Cachoeira. But Lipski's striking defense stinks. And Gatto is a more defensively responsible striker than Cachoeira. I know, the sky is blue. Everybody's a more defensively responsible striker than Cachoeira. But Gatto, like, has some power. She has some pop. Her kicks are good. I think she can fuck Lipski up on the feet. I know my guy Propaholic has the sub decision play, and like, I completely disagree with the play. I think you're better off just playing in the distance. I think the KO is very live. Just 2 KOs in the UFC. I think ground and pound is incredibly live, and I think on the feet is incredibly live. But that being said, I do think within the first 2 minutes of this fight, Gatto's closing the distance, getting her against the cage, double leg, get her on the ground, and beating the shit out of her. So this first round takedown and over, I mean, you could do over like 0.5 minutes and you're fine. You guys, this guy's saying his lineup. I think Gatto and Renat are like I know you guys are going to feel like you have to get to Brito. I get it. I get it. But I think you super have to get to Gatto and Renat at less than 9,000. I don't know how you don't roster them. You're not going to, I know, you have to go different to win a line, like to win 100,000. Like, I get it. But like, my God, dude, the upside, like Gatto and Renat in decisions can score 130 points with their takedown equity here. So I like Gatto so much here. I like the same game for me is like, so I have a play. I didn't track this because it's the same game. I have way too much money on this fucking play. I did the Ferreira under 2.5, all under. The Brito, all under 2.5. They're both minus 500. And this Gatto, same game. And I got it to, I'll tell you what I got it to in a second. I got it to plus 221. And I threw a bag on it. Like, I just think Gatto, like, I don't understand why her round one takedown prop is so low in a fight that it's not binary, but like, she'd be stupid not to like exploit Lipsky's horrible takedown defense. I really feel like they're like this. They're looking at this Lipsky, this Aldrich fight with Lipsky, like, oh, she's back. I think we're getting like crazy recency bias on this line. So here we go. I want to blow a great fight. I mean, you get the Lipsky side too. Like, I think all the violence props here. I love this. And by the way, I love this fucking fight. This is a great fight on this card. So Sean, my boy, is on Gatto. Yeah, I mean, it's bad, dude. This is a girl who doesn't know how to control anybody on top. It's shitty. So that's two of my same games. Let's get to Max Griffin and Michael Morales. I took a poke on Griffin as a dog. I really like the plus 3.5 here. I know there's the age difference narrative. I got it. The one thing I like about Griffin, and the one thing I like about betting Griffin fights, is he's sort of predictable in that he's defensively responsible. He's not high volume. He can mix in a takedown here or there. I honestly think he wins the minutes here. I think it keeps Morales at range. We haven't seen Morales in like a year, so I don't know what improvements he's made. He's 24. I'm sure he's made improvements. Like, he's a special talent. Like, I like his future. But this is a huge step up from guys that he's faced. And Griffin's like a wily vet. And anybody that's going to say, well, Griffin kind of struggled with Tim Means. Griffin's the kind of guy, he just fights to his opponent's like level. And he's been in 4 split decisions in the last couple of years. I love fight ends and split here. I think Morales probably wins the split. But Griffin plus 3.5 here, I think, is great at minus 110 odds. I think he just does enough. And if your book has like, can a guy win a round? I think Griffin probably wins the second round. Like, Morales will be flashy, throwing all sorts of spinny shit. And the second round's going to come. Like, Morales didn't look great against Fugit. And Fugit was on short notice. And Fugit came out fighting and like put a pace on Morales. And it looked like Morales was not taking I don't want to say takes the round off, because that's a horrible thing to say, but I feel like the last 2 minutes of that round, he realized, like, okay, I'm not winning the round. I'm considering my strengths. And when the third round of that fight started, Morales just came out like gangbusters. So I could see him at least conceding around and being like, I'm saving my strength. I think Griffin probably wins around here. I love the plus 3.5 for him. I did take the small dog shot. I'm nervous about it because I feel like if this fight goes a distance, is Morales going to get like the narrative, like, well, he's our guy and we want him to win? Like, it's very possible, but you could make worse bets than Griffin split decision at plus 1,400. You could make way, way worse bets in this card than that. For a fight that I think, I mean, even though the odds say, what is the over at? Over 2.5 minus 135. Fight goes is, I'm close to even money. It's minus 110. I think in a decision, I think Griffin probably at least vet lessons in one round. So let's move on to the co-main event. And this is the last of the same game parlays I love. Demirez Magulov against Grant Dawson. So I got a 1-unit bet on Dawson very early in the week. I got it at plus 105. I don't feel great about it. I like the price. I don't feel great about it. Yes, there's a narrative here that Ismagulov like had health issues, claimed he was retiring, all this crap. Dawson's 29. He's in the prime of his career. He's improving. He looks like he's in great fucking shape. His striking defense kind of sucks, but Ismagulov's not like some world beater finisher. I think Dawson could absorb the punishment. But I don't even want to do that. So we're going to play my third same game of the day, which is Grant Dawson. Again, 1 round, 1 takedown. And I talked to Monk about this. Dawson could very easily go 0 for 6 getting takedowns in the first round. Like he could. But he's not going to go 0 for 0. He's going to be proactively going for takedowns. If he doesn't get one and you lose the bet, there's nothing you can do. But he's going to be going for takedowns. He's a different style of wrestler than Sarukian. He doesn't have the traditional double legs like Sarukian does. He doesn't have that drive like Sarukian does. But he had some wrestling success against Mark Madsen, which I think is really impressive. Like, that's Greco-Roman style. But I really do think he can have wrestling success here because Dawson just gets in your face. Ismagulov's pretty patient. I do think Dawson can get him up against the cage in the first round by pressuring him. And if he does, you have to like his odds to get a takedown. He won't go 0 for 0. If he doesn't attempt a takedown, he can suck a cock. But Dawson should be going for takedowns here. So Dawson, 1 takedown in the first round and over 5.5 minutes in a fight that I do think goes distance more often than not. Or at least if somebody's going to get finished, it'll be the third round. Dawson to have 1 in the first round over 5.5 minutes is minus 115. I think it's a really good way to play a fight that's a pick 'em, and then you don't care who wins. For the show, look, I bet Dawson. That'll be the pick. I don't feel real good about it, man. I don't have buyer's remorse. If anything, if Dawson wins the first round and you give me a really good price on Ismagulov live, like +2 something, I'm intrigued. I may like half unit it and like at least mitigate the bet because I worry about Dawson in the third round with his pace. I don't worry about him as much as the Ricky Glenn fight because the Rick Glenn fight was like so grappling intensive. But I feel like if this thing's on the feet for an extended period of time, like Dawson's probably getting his ass kicked. I just think in the first round he's going to go out there and like grapple. But let's get to the main event, a fight that I don't have a bet on. Sean Strickland against Abus Magomedov. I talked to Dan Levy about this in the prop show. I said I didn't understand the booking for this, and Dan's disagreed and said, well, they want to see what Magomedov is made of because he's 32, because he's not a rookie. I still don't agree, and I don't agree for 2 reasons. Number one, the guy's fought 19 seconds in 2.5 years, and he's withdrawn from a few fights. Like, I don't love it. The other thing is why is this a 5-round fight? This could have very easily been like, I don't want to sound like an asshole about it. This fight could have been like the main prelim fight next week on a pay-per-view. Like, this fight doesn't need to be 5 rounds. It doesn't. I don't need it to be. If they're trying to build Magomedov up, putting him in a 5-round fight with Strickland is like stupid. Because Strickland's at least shown he can like last, he can survive, he has the cardio to do it. Even when he like gets off the fucking couch and does it, like he's fine. So I don't know how to bet this. I want to see what Jared has to say here. Yeah, I mean, I 1,000,000% agree with like this whole statement. Like, this it doesn't make sense. Like, this fight doesn't make sense to me. So there's a couple things that I don't understand here. So there's people that have been saying Strickland's chin is compromised, been knocked out. Come on. Strickland's been knocked out twice. Once to Pereira, to Potan. There's no shame in him. I think I had the Strickland sub prop in that fight like an idiot. Potan knocking you out's like, it happens. His other knockout loss was years ago, and it was to Zaleski dos Santos, and it was down at 170. And if you go back and watch that fight, he didn't look right. I think the weight cut was bad for him. This dude just fought at 205 on short notice. He's fighting at 185. That's where he's like comfortable. Strickland's not walking around at like 230. Like, the dude doesn't walk around like a ton heavier than his natural weight class. Like, I think he looks all right. He's not a jack dude to start with. Like, he's natural in his weight. He's comfortable. He fights really well at 185. That's his comfortable weight class. So I don't think this Magomedov early KO is really in play. It's tempting it at plus 1,000. Yeah. Now here's exactly the other side of it is, how do you bet Strickland? Because he plays with his food. He just, like the Hermanson fight, he was just kind of content to be like, all right, I'm winning. Like it's maddening. It's very maddening to bet on Strickland. So here's the way I'm going to approach this fight. I have no bet, and I won't have a bet until, even no matter how many drinks I have. I can have all the beer in Milwaukee, and I'll have no beer. I'll have no bet on this fight pre-fight. After round one, I'll look for an entry. Now, if Magomedov wins the first round, the Strickland's not hurt, and you're giving me Strickland at like plus 200, I'll take a stab at it. If Strickland wins the first round and I missed the number, then I have no interest, and that's okay. Then I missed the number. The thing that like really fucks with my head here is that somebody on Wednesday dropped a bag, a Gambus level bag on Magomedov, and the number moved, depending on your book, 25 cents, 30 cents. Like somebody hit him big, and I just don't understand why. So that like it kind of screws with my head. So the pick is Strickland. I think he does like every other fucking Strickland fight, and he lands like 150 significant strikes, and 110 of them are in like the last 3 rounds, and he never knocks them out, and he wins by decision. It's plus 165. I don't think that's for I don't want a 5-round fight decision at plus 165. That's a shit bet to me. That's a terrible odds bet. If you want to configure it like in the same game, like if you like Strickland and like over or whatever, just to get it even money, that's fine. But like he's not even like, just bet him outright, man. He's not even like a big number. And yeah, it's weird, man. So like Liam, you guys, anybody watching the show knows Liam. Liam picks fights, my boy, the king of the anthropomorphic advantages. And Liam and I talk about this, and Liam recognized it early in his life, and I know this just from betting for 20 years. There's 2 times when you see sharp money: the very beginning and right before the fight. And most of the money that comes in during the week, when you see a line like steadily move in a direction, that's casual money. There are people that are like, oh no, it's getting out of control, like I gotta hit it. It becomes a domino effect. The fact that this number, and what Jared's bringing up, is like a super. I'm just going to put this back on the screen. It's, and this is where it's just intriguing to me as a gambler. When you see a line midweek, like out of nowhere, not on the opener, there was no news that came out. When a line just gets fucking smashed, like why? Like who and why did this? And I don't know. And I looked, and I can't seem to figure out why this happened. But I know that when it happens, you got to be alert. This isn't like my boy Andrew dropping a bag on Sean Brady early in the week, like, a week and a half before a fight. This is a dude dropping a bag 3-4 days before a fight that we don't know, like against a guy who has fought 20 seconds in 2.5 years. So I'm nervous. And I look at a number, I look at a move like that, and to me, that's not a move on Magomedov. It's a move against Strickland. It's a move that somebody knows something they don't like in the Strickland camp. So I'm going to pick Strickland for the show. I don't love it, but, and yeah, that was I had the round 1 KO there. I did all right on that one, but anyway, I will just recap the bets that I have in play right now. I have a 1-unit bet on Dawson, but I will look to live bet as Magulov if Dawson wins 1. 3 half-unit bets: Max Griffin plus 220, Santini plus 255, Carolina plus 185. 1.1 units on Griffin to cover the 3.5 handicap. 0.8 units at plus 120 on Santini. And then a 3-unit juice boy on Guram to win. The Ferreira fight not to start round 3, and the under in the Brito fight. It's plus 107. I fucking hate these kind of bets, but I'm coming off a very bad week. And by the way, guys, like I don't know how many of you guys are on Twitter. I think most of you in the chat do the Twitter box, the twit box. I just want to make a commentary about this. So because I do content, I feel obliged to do, because I'm transparent. I'm honest as shit. I don't give a shit. I'm not selling shit. I'm not here to impress anybody. Like, I'm just want to do a good show. Want you guys to have fun. So I do the obligatory post every week, like how much I'm down, how much I'm up. And if you read my posts every week with this, there's no ego when I win. There's no pouting when I lose. It's always, do Bill Belichick. It's on to Cincinnati. Like, so last week was the worst track week I've ever had in my, like, on an MMA card in my life. Reverse swept, got smoked. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. The Brundage fight alone was 5 of it, because I got him early, 2.3 units at minus 115, and I had him more money on the under, but that was partly with the peak under. So, like, the whole thing was just a fucking clusterfuck, which is fine. It happens. My point is like, when you see these posts on Twitter, it doesn't mean, well, you should have bet this. Thanks, dude. Because there's some dummy, his name's Sander something or other, like, I don't know the fuck he is. But the best thing is, he's like, well, I'm right. He's like, well, you should have bet, Allen round 1 sub and Onama. They were the very clear bets. And I'm like, okay, well, link your pod. But also, like, Allen almost got a round 1 KO. He got a sub at the gun. And Santos was piecing up Onama until he got knocked out. So were these bets obvious? No. And if you won them, that's great. Like, it's gambling. Like, I get it. But, like, sorry, dude, I don't know. Like, so his response was, well, I don't know why you're being sarcastic, but I did tell Clint this. And I'm like, I'm sure Clint ran to the bank because some fucking dude with like 9 followers was like, well, these are obvious bets. Like, I'm bringing this up because as I'm getting near my hiatus and my break, like, we're all just people. Like, I'm just a dude with a webcam and a channel. I'm just some fucking idiot. Like, I'm no better than anybody else. But when I make these posts, it's because, like, I feel like I'm supposed to. It's never a pity thing. It's never a congratulations thing. And you guys that interact with me on Twitter know I'm like fucking real as it gets. I give a shit. But, like, my God, like, don't do like the hindsight shit. Like, nobody likes that. And that's not just to me. Nobody likes that. When I'm like, holy balls, I lost money, I stink. Well, I know I stink. I know it's a terrible week. Don't tell me I stink. I know. We all know. But I'm not going to stink this weekend, and neither are any of you guys in the chat, because positive vibes. Now, I'm going to go because before I got too drunk last night, I sent my girlfriend enough money to make sure we were getting cheesesteaks and all sorts of fun fucking shit. And I'm so glad I did, because she just went in the other room and ordered it. And yeah. I will look at chat real quick. Let's see. Justin dropped. By the way, when Justin says he dropped the buck, he means like $1 Canadian that he put on that. And I mean, I don't want to get like libel, but he seems like the kind of fucking dude. I mean, he's a dude that said women should be like out of the workforce. Like, he's the kind of dude that I think would, the Price is Right, would fucking take it. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like, I know a lot of people got burned on the main event too. Like, I laid off. It was so juicy. Like, I can't bet ITD at minus. It's like I can't bet Brito minus 500 ITD. But like, oh, Jenna, you got time. Jenna, like, don't act like you're not playing a lineup. We're all playing a fucking lineup. So, Cincinnati. The Reds? I don't fucking bet baseball, dude. All right. Well, I mean, fuck. You know what, guys, want to hear a funny story about this? So there's a dude. So in England, you can do this on the markets more often, but in England, some dude had bet Leicester. He had $1 at plus 5,000 odds, or sorry, plus 500,000, whatever the fucking odds were for Leicester to win. Like, the insane odds of Leicester to win the title. And Leicester won their first game, and he cashed it out with a bookmaker. You can find this online. I think I posted this on Magic's thing like a couple months ago. He cashed out his $1 bet, and he got paid $1.14 for his future. Dude, just don't gamble. Like, what the fuck are you doing? He it's in England, £1. He spent £1. Fucking unbelievable. I mean, these are my favorite. By the way, and Wiz, my boy Wiz is arguing with me. He's like, don't bet the Romanov bags. Romanov's going to kill him. I'm like, literally, like, he's the walking yam bag, dude. And he looked like shit, dude. Like, it looked like fucking shit on the scales. He looked like a dude who's like, pay me. Hey, what's up, Piezo? My guy. Follow this dude, man. This dude, he's a winner, man. This is a sharp fucking dude. Have a good weekend to you, my friend Brutality, to Pink Floyd, to Jared, to Justin, all you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And enjoy your 4th of July, man. Enjoy your 4th of July. Have a great time. If you eat meat, grill the fucking shit out of shit. That's what this holiday is all about. It's weird. Some of us are only getting Tuesdays off. It's kind of fucking weird midweek holiday, but go grill, go have a great time. Drink some shit, I'm gonna get in trouble if I say what I'm gonna say. Drink some no, I'll say that. Let's drink some Miller Lite. I don't want to say anything else. And America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah. 211 beers. I'm like 207 away from that for the weekend. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Good luck on your bets this weekend. Lou Betya on Twitter, all MMA engine shit. Like and subscribe. Just go follow Brady, Wheezy, Monk. They're better than me. Bye.